Hello, my friends. Pastor Chad here with you once again. Thank you so much for letting me hopefully give you a devotional thought, a bit of an encouragement today, and a reminder of how God's Word continues to transform our lives. Today, I want to tell you a quick story. I found myself years ago in Quito, Ecuador, where I met with hundreds of other like-minded youth leaders at that time who were going to gather together and just be an encouragement, worship together, learn some things in some workshops, and just learn about different cultures. And it was a life-transforming time for me. But it was also a time where I didn't do so well with the food, and it didn't settle so well in my stomach. We'll leave it at that. And so I found myself each day walking down the street where I found a bread shop. For $1, I could eat this loaf of bread. It just came out of the oven. It was beautiful and steaming hot, and it was amazing. But I found myself through the line waiting for my dinner. Everybody wanted some bread, so I'd be handing it out. And then eventually I'd have 2 loaves and 3 loaves and then 4 loaves, so I would end up with my own bread. And I was always known as Chad, the bread man. Today I want to speak to you about bread. There's in Matthew 6:11, as we've been walking through the Lord's Prayer, it states, give us today our daily bread. What does it mean about give us today our daily bread? Partially it brings up and it evokes this past Exodus story where people were removed from captivity and brought to a land where God then provided food for them daily. But he kind of put some stipulations and said, don't hoard it, but just gather enough today. That began to teach the people of Israel there about this idea of provision and trusting in the Lord and trusting in God for all their needs. Something I think today we still very much struggle with. As well, I want you to think through this idea of our daily bread, where it wasn't to go hoard and grab a whole bunch more, but it was to trust daily. This stipulation of don't get more than you need for the day was really important to understand 2 main things. 1, that God will bring enough if we just trust in Him. And 2, to live in the present and not always live in tomorrow or next week or next year. As we begin to do that, we begin to find so much worry and stress and anxiety, and myself included. I'm always trying to solve the problems that may not even come yet. And there's a little bit of provision here in this, give us today our daily bread, to trust today that God will be enough and trust that He'll be enough tomorrow and next week and next year. And today I want you to think that through. Where in my life maybe am I not present, that I'm so far beyond and not seeing what's right around me that I'm missing the moments? Or where am I not trusting that God is enough and I'm going to take plan B and plan C if God's plan A doesn't quite come through, that I'm prepared? And guys, I'm speaking to myself. I live this as well, that we need to do better in understanding that today God will be enough. And that doesn't mean just me and my physical well-being and my food. That means in my spiritual life, in my relationships. The more I trust that God will provide, the more I trust that God allows me to be present in the moment and He's going to give what I need today, the more I can move forward and trust that we're going to make it through. So whatever you're dealing with today, be present. Trust in God. And understand that when we do this, when we live this way, the greatest example we get to do is we get to show a world that is broken and hurting that there's a different way of living. That we don't have to live the hurried lifestyle that shows everybody the same as the world, that we are all on our own. We have to rely on ourselves, but we have a different way, a different lens to express to the world God's kingdom love and God's kingdom way. God bless you today.